Hey everyone, this video is gonna be a little different. Today, I've invited my wife to join me on camera. We're going to show you how to build the website of your dreams, from 0 to 1, using only AI tools, and without writing a single line of code. And here's the twist. My wife has zero background in tech, no coding experience, no computer science knowledge, nothing. So the question is, can someone with absolutely no tech skills build a fully functional website just using AI? That's exactly what we're going to find out. If she can do it, I promise you can too. I've poured an entire month into making this video, and I can say with full confidence, this is the most complete most beginner-friendly tutorial on the internet. Just follow along, and I guarantee you'll make it. This is a domain name generator website I built myself using AI tools. The core function of this site is that it can generate a bunch of domain names for you, based on your intended website's theme, content, or niche. Let me give you an example. Say you want to create a female-oriented website, maybe for fashion, shoes, etc. You just click this button and boom. A list of domain names will be generated. Now you can see a lot of domain names showing up. Some of them are marked as taken in red. That means the domain is already registered and we can't use it. But for those marked available, you can go ahead and register them. Each domain shows a price. That's the registration price. Renews means the renewal fee. Some domains are highlighted in red boxes labeled Hot Sale. That means they're on promotion right now. This site aggregates prices from multiple domain providers, so I can easily find the best available domain names for my own needs. Why did I build this tool? As a programmer, especially one who loves tinkering and side projects, I create many websites each year, probably at least 20. But every time I need to find a good domain name, it takes me a lot of time, at least 1 to 2 hours per domain. So I thought, why not build a tool that's tailor-made for me, that solves my own problem? If I make 20 domains a year and save 2 hours each, that's 40 hours saved. That's 40 hours I can spend with my family.
Nice.
Or doing something else I love. So I decided to build this domain generator website using AI. It allows me to search domain names for any niche I'm interested in. It not only gives me high-quality suggestions, but also shows me the prices and finds the cheapest ones too. This tool has genuinely saved me a lot of time.
Can users directly click to purchase the domain names your site generates?
Yes, let me show you a demo. I click Register, and it redirects to the corresponding domain registrar. For example, this domain is on sale, so it takes you to the registrar offering the lowest price. This one is just $4.95 a year for the first registration. Of course, you can choose other options too. Like this domain here, it's $4.99, listed on another registrar called name.soil. You can purchase directly from there.
Are the prices on your website the same as the actual registrars?
Let's check. This one shows $4.99. Same on both sites. This one's $4.95. Also matches. So yes, the prices are exactly the same. That's why today I'm going to use this domain generator website I built to show you how to go from 0 to 1 and build the exact same thing. No coding skills required. My wife is the perfect example. She doesn't code, but she can still do it.
So what AI tools will we be using today?
We'll be using 3 AI tools. First, Bolt.new. This is an AI tool where you just input a prompt and it builds a website for you. Second, ChatGPT. It helps you solve any problems you run into while building the site, whether technical or non-technical. Third, DeepSeek API. This is used for integrating the backend API of the website. Alright, let's get started. Now I'll hand the computer over to my wife and we'll begin from scratch. You can follow along with us and build your own too. This tutorial is detailed and step-by-step, and you can absolutely replicate it. The only way to know if you can do it is to do it. If you take action, you've already surpassed 90% of people. And here's my Medium article. Why you should try earning $1 online. The most important thing isn't the difficulty, it's the act of starting. This is your sign. This isn't just a simple website. It's a turning point. Alright, let's get into it. First, open the Bolt.new tool. If this is your first time using it, click Get Started to create an account. You can sign up with your email or directly with a Google account. We'll go ahead and sign up with an email. Just input your email and password. Since I already have an account, I'll just log in. Once you've logged in successfully, click the bottom left corner of the dashboard. You'll see all your current setups. Click the My Subscription button and you'll be able to view your current tokens. These represent your API usage quota. The more you use, the fewer tokens you'll have left. They give you some free tokens to start. In my case, I have 1.2 million tokens left because I previously subscribed to the $20 per month plan. Even though I've cancelled my subscription, I still have those tokens. New users get about 200,000 free tokens, which is more than enough to build a website. And just to clarify, free tokens and paid tokens work exactly the same. No difference at all. So just follow my steps and you'll be good to go. Now we go back to the homepage. In the main prompt box, we'll enter the requirements for our website and start the journey. Here's the prompt I input to build our site. Create a domain name generator website with a clean design. The homepage should display a large central input box for users to enter their brand, website content, niche, or theme, along with friendly prompts and example inputs to guide them. The website should contain headers, hero, features, footer, and so on. Wow! Now take a look at the left-hand panel. You can see the detailed thought process from the AI. We're building a domain name generator with a clean, simple layout and basic functionality. Look at the middle area. It's already showing the generated code. Click any file, like head.tsx, and you'll see the actual code it wrote. Then, on the left under the Run section, the AI has finished generating everything. Under Domain Generate Website, it shows the initialized project files, then install dependencies, and then the updated code for each file. Basically, bolt.new acts like a virtual machine. It comes with a built-in environment. You don't need to do anything. It handles the coding, compiling, debugging, and even fixing bugs for you. Now you can see the site has been successfully created, along with included features, logic, and structure. On the right panel, there are two tabs. Code. All the source code lives here. Preview. This is where you see how your site looks when it runs. Awesome. We now have a basic version of our website. It's called Domain Finder, automatically named based on the prompt. Check the top right. We've got home, features, how it works, and about me. This is a static page for now. We'll need to customize it further. Even though the page isn't functional yet, bolt.new already added a bunch of fake data for demonstration. So when you click a button, it looks like it's generating domain names, but nothing is actually connected to an API yet. That's because up to this point, everything is still static. Now, let's go back to the site I personally built. As you can see, after I enter the keyword I want, the site not only generates a bunch of domain names, it also shows the price of each domain, the renewal price, and whether it's available. Back in Bolt New, if we want to replicate this feature, what should we do? Right now, our site shows availability only, no pricing, and the data is still fake. So next, let's give the AI a new prompt to add pricing info to our page. We type, add price for every domain name, including registration and renew price. Now hit enter, and you'll see the AI respond. It's generating the relevant code for us. Just by watching this, you can feel how powerful this is. We're purely on the demand side. As long as your request is precise and well described, the AI can deliver exactly what you need. Let's try it out now. We enter the keyword beauty and cool, and now, boom, you can see the domain results. They now show availability, registration price, renewal price. But keep in mind, it's still a static page. There's no real API connection yet. The AI just filled in some example data. At this point, do you have any questions?
So, did you start with a template or reference website for this? How did you turn a rough idea into a functioning website? Otherwise, I wouldn't even know what the final product should look like.
Great question. For beginners, it's absolutely normal to feel that way. When turning an idea into a real website or app, it's really helpful to have an existing model or reference, something to benchmark against. Let's open up Google Chrome and search for Domain Generator. You'll find tons of websites doing similar things. Let's click on the first result, GoDaddy. They have a tool specifically for searching and generating domain names. You can try it yourself. Enter a keyword and see the results. Now, look at what they show. They also generate domain names related to beauty, using some sort of large language model. We can compare features and see what they have that we don't.
Like this, they have a shopping cart.
Exactly, that's one feature we're missing. So let's add a cart icon like theirs. Back to our static site in Bolt New. We write a new prompt. Add cart icon for every domain card. Click enter. After entering that prompt, the AI updates the code and tells us, update src components domain results.tsx. Let's test the result again. Type in beauty. And now you can see the cart icon appear beside the available domains. For the taken domains, you won't see the cart icon because those domains can't be purchased. And look, we didn't write a single line of code ourselves. The AI tool has already generated everything we wanted. Let's go back to the GoDaddy site again. Literally any feature they offer, like the wish list, contact us page, etc. We can build those too. But I won't add all of those right now. Let's keep going. Now that the static page is complete, the next step is to bring all of these features to life. Make them actually functional. Because right now, everything is fake. The data is static. The domain names, the pricing, the renewal prices, even the cart. It's all just mock data for display. So, our next move is integrating real APIs into the site. And that means thinking in terms of two types of APIs. Even if you don't know how to code, you still need to understand this. What we're trying to do is use an AI model to generate a large number of domain names. When someone enters a keyword, or a brand, or a full description about the website they want to build, they might enter a whole paragraph. And once they click the generate button, we want the AI model to actually create domain name suggestions based on that input. So let's test what this functionality would look like in practice. Let's open up ChatGPT and try simulating what we want the tool to do. Here's what we're aiming to build. When we enter a prompt, we want a large model to understand it and output domain names. So let's simulate that now with ChatGPT.
So what you're saying is I enter a keyword or a phrase and then ChatGPT gives me a bunch of domain name ideas, right?
Not exactly. The first part of what you said is right. But let me ask you this. What are we trying to do right now? Let's go back to our own site. Do you know what step we're on? We want the AI, in this case, maybe ChatGPT, to generate a list of domain names related to, let's say, beauty. And it doesn't have to be ChatGPT. When we say AI model, it could also mean Claude or DeepSeek or others.
Okay, don't make it too complicated. We're using ChatGPT now, right?
Sure, but we might not use ChatGPT later. We might switch to DeepSeek or Claude. That's not the point right now.
My point is, regardless of which one, I just need to give a keyword or some descriptive info about what kind of domain I want, and the AI tool will generate a list of domain name ideas, right?
Exactly. It will generate combinations, 100 domains, or 40, or 20.
Do you specify how many results you want, or is it unlimited?
We usually specify. Even though technically it could be unlimited, it's better to ask for 20 or 40 high-quality names, like top 20.
So we're asking for a top 20?
That's not critical for now. Let's just test how this functionality might behave. Let me ask you this. Is the current version of this feature real or fake?
Fake.
Correct. It's fake. But we're now turning it into a real working feature. Even though the static version already looks like it works, it's just JavaScript doing some random string generation like best beauty, top beauty, etc. What we really want is a model that actually understands your intent from natural language input and then generates meaningful domain name suggestions. So before we code, let's simulate. We'll use ChatGPT as an example model. Let's type in, you are a professional domain design engineer. You need to generate 20 perfect domain names based on my descriptions, brands, or niche. Now, the model will respond. It might ask follow-up questions to refine its suggestions, like whether the domain is for a product or a service. You can either answer those questions one by one or just skip them and go straight to the results. Eventually, ChatGPT will return 20 solid domain name ideas. That's exactly what we want to integrate into our website. This logic, this functionality. So, what's next? Let's go back to bolt.new and type beauty into our current project. Is there any part of this you're confused about?
Nope, I understand everything.
Good. Now we want to turn this fake data into real AI generated data using a model like ChatGPT or DeepSeek. So now let's look into how we actually integrate an API. And guess what? Bolt.new can help us do that too. All we need is the API. Let's start by looking for available APIs. There are many large models out there: ChatGPT, Claude, DeepSeek, and more. Honestly, generating domain names is a very basic task. Any of them can do it. What we want is the best value, low cost, easy to use, and quick to integrate. First, let's Google ChatGPT API price and click the OpenAI documentation. Since I've already logged into my account, I'm in. Go to Settings or Pricing. You'll see the pricing table. For GPT 4.0, it's $2.50 per million tokens. Not super expensive, but not the cheapest. Still, I thought I could find something cheaper. So I searched for Claude API pricing. Click the first result. It's from Anthropic, the company behind Claude. Switch the tab to API pricing, and you'll see models like Claude 3.5 Sonnet, Haiku, Opus. Their prices are generally higher, like $3 or even $15 per million tokens. In comparison, OpenAI is a bit cheaper, but still not the cheapest. That's when I looked into DeepSeek. Search DeepSeek API pricing. Click into the site, and boom, their standard pricing is crazy low. Just 0.07 per million tokens. But here's the thing. DeepSeek's official API is not open to public applications anymore. So I use a third-party provider that wraps around the DeepSeek model. Because DeepSeek is open source, many providers have deployed it on their own infrastructure and exposed it as an API. The provider I recommend is SiliconFlow. Search for SiliconFlow API, click into it. Let's look at pricing again. And yep, it's even cheaper. Just 0.02 per million tokens for DeepSeek. Way cheaper than ChatGPT or Claude. That's perfect for testing. So let's sign up. Log in using Google or GitHub. Once you're in, filter by DeepSeek, and you'll see all available models. Here's the best part. They give you 1 free credit. Go to Billing payments to confirm. And since every million tokens only costs 0.02, you can test a lot with that free credit. Now we need to get our API key. This key is like your password for accessing the API. Click Create API Key. Name it anything. I named mine Vencoding. Once created, copy the key and save it somewhere, like in a notebook or note-taking app. One reminder: never expose your API key in a real production app. It can be stolen and used to drain your token balance, which means real money loss. But here in this demo, I'll show it publicly since it's just for testing, and I'll delete it afterward. Now, next step, we're ready to call the API. Let's go to the Docs tab on SiliconFlow. It contains everything. Since we're doing text-to-text generation, we'll look under text generation. Browse through the parameters, then look at the API reference. On the left are categories: chat, image, audio, video. We want chat text. The middle panel shows the parameters and request format. The right panel shows code samples in different languages: command line, Python, JavaScript, Go. We'll choose the language that best fits our project and integrate the API accordingly. And now, let's test the API live using the Try It feature.
So you mean we choose the option called Create Chat Communication?
Yes, exactly. Create chat communication. That's where you send in your description and get back a result, just like we need for our domain name feature. So let's hit Try It. Don't worry about the programming language for now. Let me explain something before we go further. Let's go back to bolt.new for a second, because many people might be confused about choosing a language. Here's the thing. We're not here to read code. I just want to show you what kind of tech stack bolt.new is using to generate our website. And it's super simple. You don't have to look at the code at all. Just ask bolt.new directly. What technology do you use now for this project? Even if you don't understand a single line of code, it's still helpful to know what stack is being used. Just a basic idea. I'm not going to teach any syntax today because you don't need it. Our goal today is to walk through the full process, step by step, even if you're starting from zero. Let's wait a second. Okay, here's the answer. The project uses a modern React architecture. So, what's React? It's a JavaScript framework. It runs on JavaScript, the front end, the back end, Node.js, the entire stack. It tells us front end, React 18.3.1, language, TypeScript, which is a superset of JavaScript, styling, Tailwind CSS, just a styling framework, UI, React components. It also shows dev tools, project structure, and mentions things like API connections and responsive design. At this point, you don't need to worry about what React or TypeScript really means. We're not learning syntax today. We're just using AI tools to help you launch your own working website with zero coding. That's it. Alright, back to the topic. We've established that React is our base stack, and we'll be telling Bolt anew what we want, and it will generate the code in React for us. Now, let's test whether the API meets our needs. Click Try it, and let me walk you through what you see. You'll notice a long list of parameters. Don't panic, scroll up. You'll see the 3 required fields marked clearly. That's all we need to fill in. First, the bearer token. This is the API key we saved earlier. Copy and paste it in. Second, the model. Let's open the drop-down and see what's available. Today, we're using DeepSeek. We'll select the V3 model. Let me explain the difference. R1 is a thinking model. It takes longer to respond because it simulates deep thinking. But for our domain generator, we want a fast response. So we use V3. It's fast, powerful, and perfect for this use case. Now, the third required field is a list of messages. This is the actual conversation with the model. Let's add a message. Click Add an item, and you'll see 2 fields, role and content. Role has 3 options: user, assistant, and system. Let me explain. User is your input, what you say to the model. System defines the model's role. Assistant is the model's response. First, let's set a system message. You are a professional domain design engineer. This tells the AI to act in that role. Now, add a user message. This is your instruction to the model. You need to generate 20 perfect domain names based on my descriptions, brands, or niche. We've now filled in all 3 required fields. Let's go to the top and click Send to test the result. The model responds. Copy the entire content field and paste it into Notepad. Let's zoom in. You'll see it didn't directly return domain names. Instead, it asked follow-up questions, just like before. So maybe our prompt wasn't specific enough. Let's tweak it. This time, let's revise the system message directly. You are a professional domain design engineer. Based on my description, you must immediately generate a list of domain names without asking questions. Then for the user message, input your request. For example, beauty or beauty clothes or women's style. This input can be anything the user types in.
But doesn't that lock the theme in place?
Now we're testing. And that's a great question. If the theme were fixed, that wouldn't make sense. Think about it. We're debugging this API right now. If we input beauty, it generates beauty-related domain names. If we input women's style, we get style-related domains. If we input delicious food, it gives us a whole batch of food-related domains. That means the API is working. So, this parameter should be dynamic, driven by whatever the user inputs on the page. We'll just tell the AI tool, use a dynamic parameter based on the user's input. The result has been generated. Let's copy it into Notepad and take a look. Okay, here it is. 20 niche domain names for the beauty category. glowlooks.com. This confirms our test was successful. So what's next? We need to integrate this API into our actual website. We don't know how to write code, so we'll let the AI do it. But we need to give it a clear prompt, describing exactly what we want.
So, shouldn't we change the beauty input to something else?
Not yet. This is just a test case. Leave it for now. Now, look here. This section of the API response shows code snippets. There's a curl command for terminal, a Python example, and a JavaScript example. Since our site uses a React tech stack, as confirmed by BoltNew, we'll give it a prompt like this. I want to integrate an API request. Here's what the request looks like. Here are the parameters, here's the expected response, and here's what should be displayed on the page. Now, how do we write that nicely? I use ChatGPT to help me. Even if you don't use ChatGPT, Claude, DeepSeek, any large model can help phrase this professionally. So let's do this. Since the prompt is long and we're not technical, we'll ask ChatGPT to help us organize it. We type, I'm using Bolt new AI tool. Now I will integrate an API into my project. Then I will give you my specific API details. I hope you can generate prompts for bolt.new. ChatGPT replies, I'm very familiar with BoltNew and how it interprets structured prompts. Now it's waiting for our API details. So let's give it API endpoint and request. Expected response. Which part of the response should be shown in the UI? We copy the entire curl request as our API example. My API looks like paste curl request. Then we paste the example response. My response looks like paste the content field from the previous result. And finally, we tell it, please extract the content field from response and put the results in the homepage. ChatGPT replies, awesome. Here's a ready-to-use Bolt. New prompt that fetches your API, extracts the content field, and displays the domain names. It even says, a simple React app with Tailwind that does. So ChatGPT fully understands the tech stack. Very cool. Now copy the generated prompt. Paste it into bolt.new. Follow the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps.
Do we need step 6?
Step 6 adds a regenerate button. That's optional. We'll skip it for now. Now, select all the prompt code and paste it into a new file in bolt.new. This is what ChatGPT helped us generate. It's fully formatted. Now just press Alt to run it. Look, it's calling the API. We've handed over the API and bolt.new is integrating it. We didn't write a single line of code. You'll notice it's updating package.json. That's the config file for dependencies. It's installing the required libraries. After the libraries are set up, it updates the code. You can click and inspect the code yourself. Later on, we'll show you how to run this locally. But for now, let's just wait a few minutes.
Wait, why did this happen?
Oh, that's an error. This is not what we expected.
What does this mean?
Looks like BoltNew misunderstood our instructions. The result clearly isn't right. So, what do? Let's roll back. There's a neat feature called roll back to checkpoint. This brings us back to a previous version. In programming, we use checkpoints to save progress. Same idea here. Click roll back to checkpoint. It will ask for confirmation. Once you roll back, the current broken version won't be saved. Later, I'll teach you how to save multiple versions. For now, let's just revert. Click revert now. Wait a few minutes. Okay, we're back to the stable version. Let's fix the issue and try again. Alright, so as you can see, we've now rolled the code back to the last working checkpoint. There were just too many errors for the AI to handle, so we had to revert to a clean state. Up to this point, here's what we've done. Set up the basic website structure. Generated a full static page. Mocked up all the data, including domain names and pricing. Successfully integrated our first real API. But here's the truth. For someone like my wife, someone with zero technical background, all of this is completely new. She doesn't understand code. She doesn't know how websites work. So we can't explain things like developers do. We need to rely on AI to bridge that gap. That's the heart of what I'm trying to teach here. Let AI do the heavy lifting. So anyone, even total beginners, can build something real. In the next video, we'll keep debugging and squash the remaining bugs together. We're about 1/3 of the way through this journey. Let's crush the next 2/3 together. Stick with me, and you'll build your own website too.